What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the PicksWise High Stakes live stream. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. Happy New Year, Craig Mish. How was your New Year's?
Oh, it was great. Happy New Year to you. I watched the two semifinal college football games. They were both extremely boring. Beyond that, it was a fun time had by all, and certainly looking forward to wrapping up this week. Our contests, I can't believe it's all coming to an end this week. Such a fun season. We started all the way back in August, and here we are in January, and wrapping it all up with still an outside chance to cash in the super contest, but we need the best week of the season in order to do it.
All right. Well, believe me, I'm going to try the power of positive thinking here, Craig, and take a look at it. I mean, listen, it's a very difficult week here because we've got, the questions of whether or not some teams are going to scoreboard watch. Sometimes they're going to sit some players. And when we kind of go through all of that, what's your basic strategy as far as how you handle betting in week 18? Well, formerly week 17.
Yeah, I think you just have to bank on teams not playing the guys when that's in question. It just seems like that plays out most seasons. Now, there always are exceptions to the rule. I think Buffalo was a good example of that last year. But you also have to know the coaches and sort of the truth and what they're telling you. Some coaches will tell you the truth. Some coaches will tell you and then it doesn't happen in the end. But this is one of those weeks where I think we'll probably get an edge before Saturday night on a couple of these lines because we'll hear more and more coming out. But as you can see, Howard, it's sort of rare in the NFL to have just players and teams come out and say, we're not playing our guys. Like, it just doesn't happen anymore. Cincinnati did it this week. So obviously that line was the big shift, that Joe Burrow's not going to play, the receivers probably not, and the running backs either. But, we'll be able to get ahead of some of these. And there's a couple of games particularly on the board that I do like. We, of course, have two games Saturday, full slate Sunday. And then before we go, maybe we'll do the Alabama-Georgia for Monday night.
I definitely want to talk about that Alabama-Georgia game. I know which way I want to lean on that one. I think I know which way you're leaning on that game. So we'll save that for the end because I'm actually, I'm not. I've never been like this gung-ho college football enthusiast in the sense that I went to a Div 3 school where everybody on the football team was like, yeah, I could have gone Div 1, but I wanted the education, right? Like that kind of a thing. So I never got bit by that bug. But this one here, Georgia and Alabama, this is exciting to me, and I'm actually getting into that. But let's start off here first and foremost with the Saturday games and what our level of interest is in those, because for the Nugget and for the Super Contest, we've got an earlier deadline if we want to get in those games. Cowboys -7 over the Eagles. The interesting one here, obviously, is the fact that the Eagles have, Boston Scott's got COVID. Dallas Goedert's got COVID. Miles Sanders has a broken hand still. But then on the Dallas side here, we're also looking at Tyron Smith, who just went on the COVID list. Micah Parsons as well. Right. So it's a tough one there. Originally, I was kind of leaning Dallas ahead of time. But now that they're having all their issues, now I don't know.
Where are you reading the lines from, by the way, just so I want to make sure we're cross-checking these in the same spot.
Oh, okay. So, look at that. So right now, this is the golden nugget here. Dallas -7 over the Eagles. And yeah, I'm looking at it right now and I see it's -5. So
yeah, 4.5. Yeah. So
hello, Philly. Hello, value.
Yeah. Pollard also questionable to play in the game. Seeding is a funny thing. It's, that's kind of what's changed here a little bit this year, knowing that Green Bay has the top seed no matter what, right? That's done. Yeah. So the NFC is pretty clear. They're, definitely Dallas would like, a home game. They'd like to be a top seed, but being healthy is more important. I personally don't think Philadelphia is going to play almost any of their guys. They're really limping in this thing, it feels like. But you mentioned two key points. You lose your best offensive lineman, you lose your best defensive player. That's going to shift the line a point or two. I mean, that's a lot. So I'm seeing the same thing as you. It opened up at about 3.5, went up to 7, back down to 5. I'm seeing Dallas -4.5 at this point. So, obviously, as we get closer, we'll make the final call on that.
Pretty tough to invest in Philadelphia, given their situations also, and them probably not dealing with that. 2 point value aside. The other one, Kansas City against Denver. In the Golden Nugget, Chiefs are favored by 10. I'm seeing it at 10.5 right now. Chiefs right now 8-8 against the spread on the season, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They want home field advantage. They need the win for home field advantage.
They do, but this is a big line, I mean, I'm not taking Denver anymore, but man, I mean, the Chiefs laying 11 in this game when they only have to win by 1, and if they're up big in the end, you could definitely see Denver coming back. Look, there's no Bridgewater in this. That Denver plays the game right down to that play clock going out, so they can basically go through the clock as fast as possible. Line opened up at about 3 or 4, moved up once we found out Kansas City was going to play everybody to 10. Drew Lock is not playing well, clearly. The receiving core has been short. I'm not sure who's back and who's not for them. Look, the bottom line is Denver is just really not a good football team, but could they cover this line? Yeah, I mean, I certainly think there's a chance of that on Saturday.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's go to the Sunday games because I did not expect you to do that. I didn't expect you to say that could Denver cover this.
I think they could. Yeah. I don't mind taking the teams that are out of it versus the really good teams because the really good teams are gonna sit guys. I firmly believe that, and Denver has no motivation to bench players in particular. So just something about
they don't. I mean, Kansas City needs to establish a pretty firm lead before you even think about taking out Mahomes or anybody else.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be sitting as the number 2 seed, not behind Tennessee if they can help it. But all right, let's go from Saturday to Sunday then, and let's talk about the Green Bay Packers against the Lions. In the Golden Nugget, it's Packers -4. Looking at the line right now, it's Packers -3.5. Aaron Rodgers is saying that, momentum, and he wants to play. He also, if he finishes in the top 3 of touchdown passes for quarterbacks, it kicks in an extra $100,000 for him. So he's got that incentive. And Davante Adams came out today and said when he was asked if about sitting and are you afraid of players getting hurt, and Davante Adams said, if you're scared, go to church. So they're saying all the we're gonna play. I just don't see the reason for it.
Nah, that's nonsense. You definitely want to take Detroit here and get as many points as you can. Is it possible Green Bay plays their guys in the first half? Yes. But what you have to ask yourself in a game like this is that a player gets hurt, let's say, first or second quarter, you wouldn't question it. And that's the way that this usually happens for people who don't remember Week 17. But then the second half opens up and a player gets hurt. And the coach is going to get drilled after the game. What was the point? What you already got him in the first half. You already played him a little bit. You could understand because the Packers are going to have a secondary week off. They're going to have a week off next week. You don't want to sit your guys 2 weeks in a row. But the Lions are going to be fighting right down to the end in this one. So, yeah, I mean, especially if you could get 4 with Detroit, no question. What is the line right now? And what did the line end in the Super Contest?
3.5 right now.
3.5? I mean, still feels like Detroit is the right call here.
I mean, you're getting 4 in the Golden Nugget. Not sure you're getting the 4 in the Super Contest as well. You're getting 4.5 in the Super Contest.
I find it really hard to believe that you're going to see the Packers starters in the second half of this game. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't either. So I like the Detroit pick for sure. All right, going down the ticket here at the Golden Nugget. They've in the Nugget, it's Vikings -3.5 over the Bears. I'm looking at it on DK Sportsbook right now, and it's Vikings -5.5. So right off the bat, then that's a nice little extra 2-point value that you're getting taking the Vikings. Yeah, neither team's got anything to play for though.
Yeah, Cousins, they late yesterday we found out was going to play, so that probably adjusted this a little bit. But Fields being out, maybe that affected it, Howard, a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to piece together how this line moved. It shows you Fields is not really worth all that many points if this went only from 3.5 to 5.5. But not a strong opinion on this game. Honestly, could see a very close game between these two teams. Know each other well, division game. Both teams would like to go out with a win. I could see them playing this to the fourth quarter. If the Vikings have proved anything to us this season, is that It's going to be in the fourth quarter, and one team's going to have the ball, and it's going to be a close game, and Vikings could win or lose. It feels like their whole season.
Yes. One team at some point in this game, one team will have the ball. And it will probably be a close game at some point. Right? That's money in the bank right there. Money in the bank. That's Craig Mish, people. That's what Craig Mish brings to the table right there.
No wonder this is our last stream.
Oh my God. It's an afternoon game, but it was flexed into the afternoon. It was originally supposed to be a 10 a.m. one. Patriots against the Dolphins. Oh boy. Patriots -6.5 favorites over Miami. I'm looking. That's what they've got in the Nugget. It's -6 for this. The Patriots, I don't know if they win and Buffalo somehow miraculously loses to the Jets. Can the Patriots win the division?
I don't even know if they can. I guess they can because they both have the same record, New England and Buffalo. So yeah, so this is an easy one here. So first of all, I don't understand how New England's 6.5-point favorites in this game. That's first of all. I mean, the Dolphins won 7 in a row right before their last game. It feels like a pretty big overreaction to the last game. And secondly, if the Bills are up 31-0 against the Jets in the third quarter, I mean, you've seen this before, Howard. They're going to pull everyone. I mean, they're going to pull everyone on New England. We're definitely taking Miami this week. I mean, it feels like a really good play.
Beautiful. Yeah, I could definitely see that, especially the part about the Jets being down 31-0.
The teams don't scoreboard watch, but in this situation, they're absolutely not going to risk injury. So. And I believe the Bills will beat the Jets. So, I mean, they may not win by, 16.5, but I believe they will win. And once that happens, New England pulls guys. And Miami is playing for a lot. And remember, 2 years ago, Miami went to New England and won there straight up. So, I think Miami could win the game.
All right. Beautiful. Look at that. I listen, as far as them pulling everybody, yes, I could totally see that.
But why is New England such a big favorite over Miami? This doesn't make sense. This feels like a lot of points.
Because they scored 50 last week
against Jacksonville. How'd they look the 2 weeks before then?
Colts. Here's the first of our big double-digit point spreads here, right? The big one. 15.5 here. Colts favored over Jacksonville. Jacksonville's just, I mean, they're terrible. Is it 15.5 current right now? Yeah, it's still 15.5. I mean. I don't want to lay those points, but I feel like Indianapolis covers this spread.
Yeah, Indianapolis hasn't won there. I saw that stat in 5 years, but I mean, if we're forced to have to lay a big number, then I guess we will. But I feel like there'll be better games on the board than this.
I agree. Like the Bills, 16.5-point favorites over the Jets.
Right. I don't know. Another big line here. Buffalo doesn't look nearly as sharp as you thought they would look all season. They basically blew out like 3 teams all year. I mean, they could blow out the Jets, but Jets showed some fight last week against Tampa Bay, but their psyche's got to be pretty down after that one. So, I suppose if I had to pick points to lay between Buffalo and Indianapolis, it probably would be Buffalo.
Yeah, I would too. If I had to choose between that, yeah, Buffalo as well. Jets looking to change their name for the game to the New York Matadors so they can go Ole and just usher them right into the end zone. Tampa Bay, 8-point favorite over the Panthers. That's the line in the Nugget. That's the line that I'm seeing on DK right now.
Yep.
Bucks are playing their starters here right now. Tom Brady's got some incentives that or some milestones that he's looking at triggering. Rob Gronkowski, you ready for this? He is 7 catches away from $500,000. He is 85 yards away from another $500,000. All right, and then on top of that, if he gets 3 touchdowns, it's another $500,000.
Oh,
I didn't forget. I totally forgot to even bring that up with Buffalo. Stephon Diggs needs 6 catches to trigger a $1.55 million incentive clause, and then he needs like some really big like yardage number there as well. I think that he but that would he has the biggest chance. Yeah, 231 receiving yards for Stephon Diggs gives him another 1.55 million. So Diggs has 3 million incentives. Gronk sitting here with 1.5 mil on the line.
Yeah, the Buccaneers are what do you have as their line?
8.
Yeah, it's 8 for a reason. It's because they're not going to be playing their guys. I think it's a bunch of garbage. I think you'll probably see Brady in the first quarter, maybe a little bit in the second. Rule and the Panthers want to see more of Sam Darnold. I could only take Tampa. I could only take Carolina in this game. Yeah, I look, if Tampa Bay is playing all their starters, Howard, and they're playing the whole game, this line is not 8. This line is like 15, 16. Tampa Bay, come on. Carolina, 5-11 on the season?
Fine.
Losing last week to New Orleans?
I'll just use Gronk and DFS. Fine.
I like Carolina here.
I'm not even gonna argue with you on that because once you said Sam Darnold, it reminded me of that. Then it immediately triggered the whole. Titans 10-point favorites over the Texans. That's the line there in the Nugget, and I believe the line is the same right now, which is again, Tennessee. If Kansas City wins, then Tennessee has to win the game. Now the question is do they need to go all out here against the Texans, or are the Texans going to make this a bit of a game? The last time they faced each other, Houston won.
Tough one here. Tough one. I thought Houston deserved to cover last week against San Francisco. They made a lot of mistakes late, and then they just kept scoring off those mistakes. I don't have a strong opinion, though, on this one.
You don't like this one either. Okay, I'm good with that. Washington, 7-point favorite over the New York Football Giants. The only thing giant about the Giants is the length of Mike Glennon's neck.
How bad is that team playing down the stretch? Horrible. My gosh, it's bad. This could be the one favorite I would have some interest in maybe this week. The Giants just feel like they've completely laid down to me.
Everybody who's winning their survivor pools this year has been targeting against the Giants for the last several weeks.
Yeah.
Saints 4.5-point favorite over the Falcons. Saints in a must-win situation. They need to win and San Francisco lose in order for them to get in there.
Yeah, this is another scoreboard type game a little bit here. I think the Falcons are going to show up and play hard. They played hard last week too. I suppose we won't know the answer to whether or not the Saints have to play right down to the end, until we know what happens in that game with San Francisco and Los Angeles.
They're playing at the same time.
So, yeah, I think I would probably lean Falcons here just because, the Saints really are having a hard time outscoring teams by more than one, it seems. So I just don't see them deserve. I don't care who they're playing against. They really don't deserve to be favorites. It feels like their offense is just down to nothing at this point. Just a lot of running and short passing and kicking field goals. So I'd lean Atlanta.
Okay.
And a low scoring game too, probably.
Total 2 teams. 40. Yeah, right. I love that 40 over under. 2 teams who technically still alive. I don't think either team makes it in, but Ravens 5.5-point favorite over the Steelers. That's what the line looks like. For the Nugget, it's 5.
Easy pick right here. Easiest pick.
Easy pick. Oh, you're going Steelers +5.
Of course, this game is always decided by 3 points or less. It doesn't matter who they're playing. If it's the same thing every game, every year. If you're getting more than 3 in this series, you always take the dog. We're taking Pittsburgh for sure.
Okay, all right.
It's easy. It's
easy. It's like a no-brainer, right?
It is a no-brainer. It really is. It's any time in this series, it's more than 3. You just close your eyes, you take the underdog, and you know that you're going to either win or Tucker's going to kick a field goal, and that's usually how it goes.
All right. Browns Bengals. This one had tremendous movement as the Bengals turned around and said, "We're not going to be playing our starters." Although Jamar Chase he's like 45 yards away from like hitting some sort of an incentive in his contract. So maybe maybe they let him try and get a couple of passes early and then sit everybody. But with the way Joe Burrow like was limping around at the tail end of the last game, like I don't think he sees the field at all.
No, he said he's not playing. So that's
okay, perfect.
That's one thing I believe that's not happening. Brandon Allen is sort of like a pseudo capable backup. He's not among the top 10 backups, and he's not in the bottom 10. He's like kind of somewhere in the middle. He had some chances to play, didn't play that well, but in this spot, I could see him keeping it close. I really could. So maybe a lean towards Cincinnati here, but the Cleveland situation is also a mess here. I think we could find a better game than this.
And I do think that Cleveland kind of gave up on everything, but for the same token, if Cincinnati is going to be benching everybody, I can't choose either way.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
Cardinals 6.5-point favorite over the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks really came to life the last time. They could play spoiler. Arizona wins, and if Arizona wins and the Rams lose, Arizona actually moves up in seeding and they win the NFC West.
Yeah, Arizona, we took them last week. That was probably one of our better picks in the last few weeks. They won that game outright against Dallas, and it was pretty
such
easy.
A great pick.
Yeah, that was a good pick. But in a week-to-week league, do you really trust the Cardinals to go from +5 to -7 over most teams in the NFL? I don't, but Seattle's really hard to get a read on. They obviously put up like, I don't know, what was it, like 40-something or 50 against Detroit last week. So it seems like their offense is playing a little bit better. It feels like Carroll has them like playing down to the end here.
Yeah. Bit of a love fest, too, when Russell Wilson came out today and said that he has all the hopes of winning a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks.
Sure.
DK Metcalf then chimed in and said he wants to stay long-term. We know that Tyler Lockett, if he gets his 2 touchdown catches this week and he gets his cool $1 million for hitting that milestone, he's going to be psyched about being there.
Right. And, the one dangerous thing about taking Arizona, I would say, is that you have the 49ers and Rams going on at the same time. And while it may not happen, Howard, we have to acknowledge it. If the Rams are up 31-7 in the fourth quarter, the Cardinals are going to sit their guys in the fourth.
Sure.
Because they're not going to be able to win the division. So it's a little dangerous to me taking Arizona.
Dangerous to take Arizona indeed. Do you really think the Rams could be up 31-7 over the Niners? They're a 4.5-point favorite.
Do you think the Jets would be up on Tampa Bay? It's the NFL.
Stop with the Jets, man. Just let
anything can happen in any game, man.
They're dead already. Just leave them. Leave them.
I can't rule anything out in these games.
All right, fine. Well, what do you think, man? Are you in on the Rams? Are you in on the Niners? It's a must-win for the Niners.
San Francisco's had really good success against the Rams, and the only game that they've lost in the last 3 years was that one bomb, I think, that the Rams threw late in the game to win. I like San Francisco here. I like the points.
All right. The big one Sunday night, Chargers 3-point favorites over the Raiders. It is in Las Vegas, so we don't have to worry about the Chargers being a home favorite here.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some stuff going on with either. Oh, look at you! You don't even you're in on the Raiders, aren't you?
I want the Raiders to win, but I don't know, man.
Why would you want the Raiders to win? Why?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a great atmosphere. Look, they've had horrible things happen to them this season. All for the most part, self-inflicted. I get it. But I mean, you take the coach away from a team and their best playmaker from a team, and you still are playing, and the best player on the team in Waller, and you still are playing for the playoffs. The last game of the season, you got to give the Raiders credit for getting to this point.
I'm not going to not give them credit. I'm just more of a Chargers fan than I am for the Raiders.
Yeah, but the Chargers, I don't know. Which team is going to get crushed by their fans on Monday? It's going to be one of these two teams. If it's the Chargers, how can you get to this point and blow it? If it's the Raiders, you were at home and you blew it. It's like, it's like a no-win situation for one of these teams. And I feel like taking the Raiders is the right spot. That place is going to be jacked for that game, but I don't know. I feel like I want to pass this one.
All right. Well,
what do you think? Who do you think is going to win?
What do I think? I'll tell you what. if this one, and just for betting purposes, because it's already locked in on the Nugget, and I think it's also 3 for the Super Contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not interested in taking it for one of those. If it goes to 3.5, because a lot of the money right now is coming in on the Chargers. But if it starts to flip a little bit, if you get a half point in there for the Raiders, like 3.5, then I would probably take them. If I'm getting that hook.
To me, the Raiders are a very tough team to navigate over and
Yes.
and this is the perfect example of that. But the Chargers are also, now again, it's not 5 or 6 points. I get that. But the Chargers as a favorite, or regardless, are still not all that reliable. And the line is kind of telling you that these teams are similar.
Yeah.
So
all
could be a Charger letdown. I don't know.
It could be.
It's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a nice atmosphere for a game, though. I think it'll be. I think it'll be a fun game.
I got a ticket with Chargers to win the Super Bowl, 40-1.
Look, the other thing too is look, the Raiders have been playing these like super close 2-point, 3-point games too.
Because they're running the ball finally. Well,
Chargers could win 21-20.
Chargers could win 21-20.
And you win, you get your points, and your bet wins too.
There you go.
Or it gets closer, excuse me.
It gets closer, yes. It doesn't cash.
Speaking of 3-point spreads.
Nope, I don't want to talk about that yet.
Okay.
I want to pinpoint where we're leaning right now.
Okay, go ahead.
For the NFL games that we actually were like, yeah, we could go with that.
We're going to take the teams that are out of it but are playing their guys versus the teams that are going to the playoffs that we just don't believe that they're playing their guys. And I think we'll win more often than not.
Okay, so we like the Lions.
Yes.
We like the Dolphins.
Yes. Pittsburgh.
We like Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I think you like Atlanta.
Nah, well, just a lean. Just a lean.
Just a lean?
The 3 you mentioned, without question.
Yeah. Seahawks?
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
I feel like we're missing one more that we've talked about. Let me see.
Well, there was value on the
Carolina.
Oh yeah. I just have dude.
Carolina
I just have such a hard time with Carolina.
Carolina, to me, is the most disappointing team for me in the NFL. I thought
hands down for me as well.
I thought, listen, they're not winning 12 games. I thought they'd win 9, maybe 10. You know, I believed in the coaching and boy, they have failed me. I'm just totally wrong about them.
I was like, I broke down their offense. I was like, the underneath slants that Joe Brady likes to run, blah, blah, blah. You get McCaffrey back, and then this, and then that. Sam Darnold, and all the good things that could happen.
No, it was really bad. Well, we don't necessarily have to go with that one, but listen, we definitely have 3, but by the time Saturday comes, we'll have 2 more.
All right. National championship.
Sure.
On the line here. Tell me who you're picking, Craig, and why is it Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's got to be Georgia, but betting against Alabama, this is like betting against Brady. It's like betting against Belichick. You know, it's like it feels dirty. But I mean, Georgia just I don't know. I
thought you were going to go with Alabama.
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be Georgia.
All right. The whole like teams playing each other that close together, they don't win both of them.
That's it. I really don't think. See, this is sort of the issue here that scares me, is that it's very hard in college football. It's very hard to beat a team twice. It is the odds are stacked against, but beat and cover are 2 different things here, and that is where I struggle with this a little bit, because I definitely could see the spread being in play here. I really, Howard, could. I do. I think some 2-point conversions, not a lot of scoring probably here, field goals. Alabama's kicker ain't that great, you know, like, and then maybe having to score a touch. Like it is a tremendous game that they're going to play on Monday night. And I don't know. I honestly don't know that I want to even use it for the Golden Nugget, but I'm going to lean, I guess, toward Georgia here just because I watched both those games, and that's really kind of all we have to go on. Georgia was the best team in college football for every second of this season, except the game they played against Alabama. Isn't that funny? And they were amazing in that game against Michigan. Like, Michigan never had a prayer in that game. Cincinnati kind of like was toying around for a bit. Like, they could have backdoored a couple times. Like you're watching the game thinking, I think we took Alabama here minus the points last week. We did. But you were kind of thinking like, yeah, there's a scenario Cincinnati could get the ball back and then they score and then they kick an onside kick, but there was no scenario for Michigan to cover in that game. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I lean toward Georgia here, but I feel better about the NFL games this week than to just throw that game out there in the Nugget.
I'm fine with that. I mean, listen, again, we're talking Lions, we're talking Steelers. What was the Dolphins? Those are our three firm there. We both looked at the 49ers as a strong possibility for a fourth. So I mean,
we don't necessarily have to go with Carolina. And full transparency in the Golden Nugget, no matter what our record is, we have to pick 7 games in the Golden Nugget.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we may have to pick that game. Yeah, full transparency, Golden Nugget. We were okay this season, but we're not cashing in that. I don't.
Yeah, no, we hit a speed bump in the middle of the year.
So it doesn't, that one doesn't really matter as much as Super Contest is still very active, and historically speaking, provided that in the Super Contest that we go 3-2 in the 5 picks, this will be the best winning percentage that we've had in the Super Contest in the 3 years that we've done it. So I think that that's important.
It's very important. All right. Well, good stuff all around. I will tweet out our picks as we put them in and let everybody know that. You can follow me on Twitter at RotoBuzzGuy. You can follow Craig at CraigMish. Let's give a shout out here to our producer today, John Impemba. Thank him for all the delicious work that he provided. And that's going to do it here. This is the final Picks-Wise High Stakes live stream of the 2021 season. So thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate your support. And there'll be more from me and Craig at some point or another. You wait. We'll catch you next time.